Folks, we're back. This is Steve Sanchez, Jim Jonas, another episode of Veterans in Politics. Today, our guest is going to be Ron Quince, Nevada's Congressional District 1 candidate. But before we get to Mr. Quince, Jim, how you been?
Been good, actually. Not too bad. It's getting better. It's still real stiff, but that's going to take a while. So,
You got any rants?
No, actually not really. I really don't have any rants this week. It's it's been pretty good. I mean, I could go on and on and on about the world being insane and this DEI garbage. But same old, right? The one thing I can say, I guess, would be kind of more of like a public service announcement. Yes, we know on the national level things are a little nuts right now, but don't forget your local races. They're the most important. That's why I'm excited for our guests today.
You know, speaking of that, I just wanted to, first, I have something I want to say, and I know I brought this up earlier today. I was watching my TV, and there was a newscast about the American flag being burnt and people yelling death to America. And I'm looking at the channel trying to figure out what country this was. It was Washington, D.C. You believe, what is going on with the world, man?
Well, what it is it's all these colleges that are supposedly the higher education, especially your really pristine ones like Harvard and the Ivy League schools, and then you got like UCLA out in California, and they got all these crazy liberal professors that they feel sympathy for Hamas, which is ironic to me because if any of these individuals that are in college were in the Gaza Strip they wouldn't make it an hour before they were even thrown in prison or killed. Because women do not have rights. I mean, they have to be all covered up. It's completely insane.
And if you're gay, they're going to kill you.
Yep.
So I don't understand that.
Right. Yeah.
So it's just beyond me. You guys come to America for freedom, and then you all take advantage of it. Look, if you don't want to be here and you yell death to America, get the fuck out.
Yeah. It's a pretty simple solution. It's like it's just like all the celebrities that always say, well, first it was if Bush won, they're leaving the country. All still here. Then when Trump became president, all these people said they're going to leave the country. They're still here. I mean, Whoopi's still here with her big mouth.
They make too much money here, so they're not going to leave.
Right, yeah. Yep.
But, we had the joint endorsement of 3 judicial races, and I just want to let everybody know exactly who the joint veterans endorsed. We had Clark County District Court, Department 14. It's Alan Lefebvre. How you say it? Lefebvre.
Yeah, I completely mauled it 2 times during
Alan, congratulations.
Yeah.
Clark County District Court, Judge Department 27, we had Terry Coffin. Congratulations. Justice of the Peace, Department 4, we had Susan Bauckham. Congratulations to all 3 candidates for gaining or earning the endorsement of the Joint Veteran Group. That includes Veterans of Politics International, Nevada Veterans Association, and the Armed Forces Chamber PAC. And just to let everybody know, next week at the Las Vegas City Council, we're inviting all Veterans in Politics members and moderators, and we invited everybody because we're going to be giving a Lifetime Achievement Award to Marilyn Carolyn Goodman on August 7th, which is a Wednesday at 9 a.m. So we hope everybody shows up for that.
Yeah, should be fun.
And there was something else I wanted to say, but did you see the mayor's debates today?
No, I did not.
Well, Shelley Berkeley hammered it.
Yeah.
She did an excellent job. I believe it was at the Gold Coast or the Golden Nugget, something like that. And Shelley Berkeley hammered it. It was 2 candidates there, Shelley Berkeley and that other person. What's her name? Victoria Seaman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Shelley Berkeley hammered it. So, and you know something? I looked at my my Facebook page and I found out something very intriguing. because I'm knocking out these articles on Victoria because she gives me so much to talk about. And somebody wrote down that you're only doing this because, the ones that don't have no profile picture and a fake name, those.
Right.
Somebody said that I'm only doing it because Victoria Seaman, this is so funny, didn't want to sleep with me.
Oh, I'm sure that's it.
I thought that was funny. Well, they need to go ask Mark Menendo, and they need to go ask Dave McGowan.
Yeah.
That's who you need to go
Good
ask.
old Mark Menendo. That brings back memories.
So I thought that was the most hilarious thing, and I was going to delete it, and it was just too damn funny to take down because who would even believe that? I can't even believe that.
Right.
No matter how high I could get or how drunk I could get or how much money somebody could pay me, I can't believe I would do something like that. Or how delirious I might be. So usually I take down stupid remarks like that, but that one I'm leaving up because it's so damn funny and it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable to me.
I'm just wondering why Victoria Seaman is suing me. I don't get it.
She's suing you?
Yeah, I live in the city of Las Vegas, so she's suing me. I don't know what I did. We got to work on figuring that out because that doesn't make sense that they should even be able to do that. How do you sue your own constituents?
She didn't sue you once, Jim.
Right.
She sued you twice.
Yeah. So I don't know what I ever did to her.
She sued you twice, man. I don't understand, but she's not going to win this thing. Nah. There is no way. There's no way the voters could be that stupid.
Yeah.
But sometimes they are, and it's very pathetic.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
No,
sure,
I'm good.
Positive?
Yeah, doing good.
All right.
Just living life.
All right. Let's get to Ron Quince then. Yeah. Mr. Quince, how you doing, sir?
Good. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing very good. Tell us about yourself.
Well, I've been in this show multiple times, and I'm pretty sure you know my background. But
yeah, but the audience,
well,
they change up all the time. We get the millenniums.
That's awesome. Well, by the way, I wanna thank the Joint Veteran Group for endorsing me as well. I believe that happened a few months ago before they had the primary because I didn't have any primary. I went to general election right away. But first of all, my name is Ron Quince. I've been here in Nevada, Las Vegas, Henderson area for the last 23 years. I think I've known you for the last 20 years as well. Mm-hmm. So we're not gonna know I'm not gonna tell you how old am I or you are, but we've been here for a while. We've seen how the way the city changed.
I'm getting gray. You haven't gotten gray at all. What's going on?
No, they have those things that you buy, and then you take a shower with it, and it takes 20 minutes. No, 7 minutes to get your hair black. But small business owner, I have 2 daughters, and I have one on the way, which is going to be a boy.
Congratulations.
My wife's going to be due on November 5th. So I'm hoping that, God Almighty is going to deliver a son to me on the 5th, and you voters are going to deliver your votes to me on November 5th.
Double whammy, brother.
Absolutely. And I'm glad that. And of course, been a small business owner, philanthropist, involved with the Veterans Group, involved with the school. As a matter of fact, this coming August 6th, I'm going to be in Boys and Girls Club, one in Henderson, and one's going to be close to not North Las Vegas, but more like in the Hollywood area, and I'm going to be giving out school supplies. So it's going to be live in my Facebook, so there you go, in the nutshell.
But before my colleague takes over with the questioning, I got a few questions I want to ask. Number one, where are the boundary lines for Congressional District 1?
All right. It's a little bit big. So the way it works is from downtown all the way down to going south to Seven Hills. And then we have Inspirada, Boulder City, Henderson. Of course, when you pass Lake Mead towards Lake Las Vegas, that's no longer my district. And now from the east side.
You don't have Lake Las Vegas anymore?
No, not anymore. Oh. It's actually 4 now. Oh. And now you have the whole East Las Vegas, which is before you hit Cheyenne. That's still mine. But when you pass Cheyenne, that's actually 4 now, Congressional District 4. So, and then all the way to the east of Hollywood. So that whole area, that's my district.
Okay. So I've known you a long time.
Of course.
and you've always been Republican.
You're probably like the, 25th person to ask me that question. Okay, go ahead. I want to hear it.
What happened?
Well, Steve, I've been part of the Republican Party since when I was 18 years old, and you know that. Mm-hmm. I've supported the Republican Party. I put money in the Republican Party, both statewide and both national. I've been invited. I'm one of the donors, of course, before. And for some reason, when the Republican parties cannot get together, it kind of set me aside and asked the question, why do we have a party? And then when I start going to Washington, D.C. and asking for the endorsement, which is they told me that, we're not going to, in the business standpoint, we're not going to support any Republican candidate that's going to come out in the primary. And I think I mentioned that with Robertson and Larson and myself, that's what they did. They didn't support anybody. So now I kind of come across that. Why am I going to a party that's not going to support any of the candidates, because their focus is Texas and Arizona, because mathematically that's they believe that those are the district that they have a chances of winning, mathematics wise. And if I'm going to use some of my money, then why would I go to a party that's not going to support me? Why don't I just going to run as an independent and be the voice of the 42 registered nonpartisan voters in District 1? So that's why I decided to run.
So you're more of a conservative.
I'm a conservative independent, you can say that.
Okay.
But always in the middle, because I'm not too much to the right. Because if you're too much to the right, you're ISIS, you're Hamas. Too much to the left, guess what? You're Putin. You're a socialist. You're a communist. So I'm right in the middle, because you know what? That's America's for. We have to cross the aisle. We have to be a bipartisan candidate in order for you to win and help serve this country.
So you've been knocking doors, I'm assuming.
Been knocking doors. As a matter of fact, we're doing a lot of drops to a nonpartisan. Kamala's actually helped my campaign a little bit, because now we have voters out there that don't want to come out and vote for Biden nor Trump. But now we have some people that are actually going to come out and vote because they want to be first of everything. Like, Kamala's going to be she's the first female black candidate,
right,
and also the first, female that actually running for president. And I am a first Filipino-American naturalized citizen who's an independent, who's going to win in District 1. So there's a lot of history here, folks. So, I want you guys to join be part of history and join the crowd.
I remember an independent candidate that ran in Congressional District 1 before the what's it called?
Before they redistricted.
Gerrymandering happened. It was Ruben De Silva.
Yeah.
And he did pretty good in that district.
He did the best. I think he had the best turnout of any independent.
Yeah. So I just can't wait to see what your numbers.
Oh, absolutely, and I can't wait. I can't wait either. The good thing about it is, went to Washington D.C. and Democrats are not talking about Robertson. They're talking about Ron Quince, because it's going to be a tight race, but it's going to be Ron Quince versus Dina Titus. So your boy, them just stay home because he's not going to win.
He's not my boy at all.
No, good.
At all. Because he wore the uniform.
Oh yeah,
he wore the military uniform to a political event, and it says Boulder City Republican Women, or the Republican Women of Boulder City. He was a keynote speaker, and he says that I didn't talk politics. Dude, you don't have to talk politics. The name of the organization says it all for you.
Well, the good thing about it, I'm asking all the Republican voters out there, and also part of the Republican Party, vote for someone who can beat Dina Titus, because your boy is not gonna go anywhere. 2022 is calling. It's gonna be the same result. So once I got in here, it's gonna be me and Dina Titus, and I know you guys want to get rid of Dina Titus. Nothing wrong with that lady. Nice lady. I met her, but it's time to retire. It's time for a change.
Time for some new blood, huh?
Absolutely. You need a better America, and that's gonna be me. So I'm encouraging all your Republican voters and your Democratic voters. It's time for a change, for a better America. Vote for Ron Quince.
But I just want to finish the thought process about Mark Robertson. Roberts?
I don't know whatever his name is.
He wore the military uniform to a political event, and according to the Uniform Code of Military Justice, whether you're active or non-active, You're not supposed to wear the military uniform to any event. And he did that. He violated that rule.
Didn't Governor Lombardo did the same thing and he got fined?
He wore the police uniform in an ad.
Yeah.
Yeah. They just, I don't even want to get into it. So what are the issues that are facing District 1?
Well, there's a lot of issue. When I'm doing door knocking and, of course, talking to some people, and right now, the people in District 1, they don't really care about the party that much anymore. This is what they're concerned. One is, of course, the economy is really bad. Two, the borders. It's just like we just can't let anybody in here without being vetted.
Right.
As an immigrant, I came in this country and we were vetted. They checked technically like 3 generations deep on where my family came from before we come to this country. And of course, when you come to this country, they give you the opportunity. They ask so much question and asking us like, what contribution can we do to make this country better? Right now, if you have an open border, you're just letting people in, and this is a land of immigrants. There's a land of opportunity, but we need to know who's coming in. So that's why America, what contribution can they bring in? I don't care if they're a locksmith, carpenter, whatever it may be, but bringing something in to make this country better rather than us supporting them by coming here. Right. I understand all that stuff. But of course, we need to secure the border. That's one of their concerns. One of the concerns that they have is technically public safety. Mm-hmm. It's just not what it used to be anymore. People are actually scared now.
You mean the police response time or what?
Overall, the thing is like, a lot of people are concerned that if you have an accident, mm-hmm. if it happened on a private location, guess what? The police not going to come because nobody get hurt. Mm-hmm. So now you have to go to the police station.
That's why you take bat out and you break a couple of legs and there you go.
Yeah, nobody can get hurt. Also, like, if you go to CVS now, there's a lot of things that are actually locked up. Mm-hmm. If you're going to buy, because, the law right now, they say it's like what? If you stole less than $1,200, mm-hmm. then it's not a crime. The police not even going to bother that. And I've been to those town hall and, the police were there and, they talk about it. The problem is, of course, sometimes their hands are tied. Right. That's why we need to get better judges out there to make this thing, to make the law a little bit harder for the people that's been doing it multiple times. The problem about that is because people will go to Walmart and steal things and then sell to us at Amazon. Mm. So now it's not good for the business because these people that are working at Walmart, they actually have a livelihood that they need, that's why they're working there, or at Target or any of these places. Now we have some people that are actually going in there, steal things, sell on Amazon, and they call it fencing. I think that's the way they call it. The funny thing about it is like, it's getting so bad that people are actually stealing for someone, and instead of them getting paid, they're getting paid on drugs, which is now we have a fentanyl issue. So we need to put a stop to this, and that's one of my constituents were saying that, we're just scared right now to go out, even buy something or walk by ourselves because of this crimes that's happening. And this is not the Las Vegas that we're at when I moved here. And I'm pretty sure you will say the same thing, Steve, because we've been here for a very long time. You too, Jim, Yeah. Back then we can just walk whatever we want. Now it's kind of like, you feel like you're in LA, that is this a good neighborhood? Is this a bad neighborhood? Am I going to get mugged? Are they gonna steal my $20 Casio watch? So things like that.
You could jump in any time now because I'm going to keep going. So just jump on it. Mm-hmm. What are you going to do for veterans as a sitting congressman?
Well, first of all, what I'm going to do for veterans, and veterans are always big in my heart, especially I employed veterans, as you know.
You got a restaurant?
Yes, actually, it's going to be opening soon.
What's the name of it?
Neupitz.
Ah, what kind of food?
Filipino food you just ate there a few months ago.
I know this, Mr. Quince.
Yes, actually, yes. What I did is practically, yes. We bought a restaurant and it's Neupitz, and there's one in Town Square, and we're gonna be opening one by Decatur and Pasoki, and then of course we have 3 in LA. And we have one in Hawaii that's going to be opening soon.
It's a chain.
Yeah, and then there's going to be another one in San Francisco.
What does that name mean?
It's like Neupitz, so it's kind of like a backwards of Pinoy. Pinoy is like a slang for Filipino.
Ah.
So they just kind of like switch it over and then they put a Z on it, so it make it plural for,
Is there any type of veteran discounts?
Well, I don't know yet, but I'll find out.
Because that's what I ask. Is there
look at
a
this
veteran
guy.
discount?
Yeah, it's weird.
But you know what? If a veteran, I'll give you a free dessert.
Trying to get them chubby.
Well, one of the things that we have to do for veterans is, and I was an interview this morning, and people goes like, oh, I was a disabled veteran. I came out, they have all the services provided for me. Okay, fine and dandy. Okay, I understand that. The main thing that we have right now is, like I told this guy, it's not every veteran is you. Some veterans don't have a family. When they come out, they're all alone. Now they're depressed. And you know how many people how many veterans kill themselves every single day, not only here in Nevada, but nationwide. We need to establish a mental health facilities here to help these veterans to recoup with all that stuff. They need to be able to live independently because, hey, a lot of people, it's very hard already being in the war, being a veteran, serving this country, with all this obstacle that everybody's saying, death to America. That's pretty much like hard for a veteran that fought for this country and carried this flag for, I would say, more than 6 years, right? So we need to take care of our veterans. And a lot of people say, "Oh no, Ron, you know what? If you're a veteran and you're honorably discharged, then you know what? You have all these things for you." Yes, I understand that, but some of them they don't know. They ask you a lot of questions, right? When they get out of the military, what benefits they have out there. Because we don't have a program. I don't think the government does. Okay? Some of them are alone. They don't have a family. They've been in the military so long. So now they're so depressed. That's why I support a lot of veterans groups, especially the one that, this group that has like a veteran and they give you a dog. Because at least the veteran that's just come out, they have a companion, because they don't have any family to begin with. And now we don't have enough support to help these people. Sure, there's a lot of government programs out there, but the question is, what is the government programs out there? There's no transition team that tells you, oh, this is the stuff that can help you. We don't have any of that stuff, right? So that's one of the things that we need to do for the veterans. So we need to make them live independently. We need to make them stay healthy and, transition them to the whole world. Next is, of course, a lot of veterans that's getting full benefits are either they got shot at the war or they got hurt, which is disability, right? Disabled veterans. What about those veterans that's been in service for 20 years? Because it takes team, right? I know you're a combat veteran, right? Mm-hmm. But there's still someone out there who actually printed your check, and they've been serving this country for 20 years. They get out, retirement. Guess what? They have to pay taxes on their pension. Because, it's not enough. So they have to work somewhere else. So now they don't only have to pay taxes on their veteran pension that they served for 20 years serving this country. They have to pay taxes on the company they're working for. Once I became a congressman, I will pass a bill to stop that. They served this country long enough already, for 20 years. They don't need to get shot or get hurt in order for them to get tax-free on that. Last but not the least, of course, if you're a disabled veteran, they said everything is free, even funeral. No, it's not. Open and closing is not free. Your family has to pay for that. If you're going to say free for veterans, that means that thing needs to be free as well.
That's right. Because
if we're giving things to the illegal immigrant, they have health care, food stamp, and I don't know, all this stuff, why we can't give this to the veterans?
Yeah, because my friend, Johnny Spicer, I had to come up with, it was like $6,500 to bury him, and he was a veteran and retired.
Yeah.
But a lot of things are free, like the burial site and the chaplain and all that. But the cremation,
open and closing,
the caskets, those are not free.
So if they serve this country, sacrifice enough to serve this country, some people might say it's they volunteer now, okay? Yeah, but it's still, they serve this country. They need to have a full benefits because you know what? Not many people can be in the military. And, a lot of people are saying, hey, Ron, what you going to do with the people that went to college, free? Are you going to forgive them their student loan? Well, why don't you join the military? serve 4 years, and then your student loan can be forgiven, right?
But they have the GI Bill.
Of course, but if I'm talking about those people like that Biden was trying to pass that free education, student loan and things like that. Hey, you know what? You want if you want your student loan to be paid off, join the military.
Oh, I got what you're saying. Yeah.
And end of that. They do that in Israel. They do that in South Korea. And I think it worked out pretty well with them, right? Their military inventory is pretty good.
Yeah, in Israel, as soon as you turn 18 years old, you're in the military.
Instead of you have to serve 3 years.
Yeah.
So it's there.
Male or female.
Right. So, Ron, one of the things that you kind of already answered the question, but what I would like to see, especially from, I think it's a smart strategy to run as an independent, just because I really honestly think we're in a climate right now that people are they're really fed up more than most election cycles. It's you don't have to, if someone asks you if you're a Republican or a Democrat, you're not alienating half the voters by answering that question.
Well, the question is do you vote for evil or less evil? That was the question before, right?
Yeah.
And it's very hard for me, and Steve knows it, that for me to get out of the Republican Party, because when I was in the Republican Party, even though sometimes I feel that I'm not accepted in the Republican Party, maybe because I'm not good looking enough or something like that, or not tall enough, I still supported that party. I supported the candidate in that party. So leaving that party, I have to call, the people that I know, close friends of mine that are actually part of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
Some of them are actually goes like, okay, well, that's how you feel. Yes, go for it. Some of them goes like, oh, no, I don't think so. But, and I appreciate that, because in order for me to make a decision, I need to know what other people think.
Right. Yeah.
Because when you're a congressman, you make decisions that change people's life. Oh. Some of them can benefit it. Some of them can make it, bad for them. But the thing is, you need to ask everybody's perspective, because this is not communism. We are here to ask your constituents what's best for them. Might be, you might vote for something that's best for 80% of your constituents. You might vote for something that's bad 20% of your constituents, but we have to make a decision. We cannot please everyone 100%. But at least let's get the majority of the people that actually can benefit them.
Well, and the thing too is, just so people know, is just because when you're elected as an independent, you can still caucus with the Republicans. Look at Lieberman. He switched from Democrat to independent, and he caucused with the Democrats. So that one weird dude from Vermont too, he did the same.
Well,
thing.
The thing is, I think the Republican doesn't have that much history on caucusing with independent.
Right.
But of course, hey, once I win, I'm a free agent, right? I will caucus whatever is best for my constituents.
Yeah. So what's your general philosophy on foreign policy? Because as far as the military is concerned, because now we've seen, especially now with Donald Trump, we've seen prior to Donald Trump, the Republicans were more of they were neocons. It seemed to me like they enjoyed going to war because it made their buddies rich. But now we're starting to see a more populist view where we don't want as much intervention in world matters as far as war goes. Remember Trump bragging about there was no wars on his watch, or he didn't start one anyway.
Yeah, he did. He bombed Syria. So, the thing about it, it's and I had a lot of conversation with my friends about this, even though we're not in actual war, we're actually in it, money-wise. Yeah. Of course, we have the war in Ukraine. Right now, what's going on in the Middle East, in Israel and things like that with against Hamas. So the problem that we have right now is we need to have a stronger policy that don't let these people even think about it, going to war. I understand that, Ukraine's not part of NATO, so, Russia just go in there. But the problem is that shouldn't happen in the first place. Now it happened and we end up paying for it, right? The president of Ukraine came here asking for more money. Prime Minister.
That was going to be my exact question to you.
They're asking for money as well, right? So now, why are we spending so much money when we could have prevented from the beginning? And guess what's going to happen, folks? If we don't pick the right person to become a president or to pick the right person actually elected in Congress, guess what? China is eyeing on Taiwan. Mm-hmm. And guess what? We're involved in that again. And I'm telling you, folks, Everything's, people saying that, I'm not going to vote because it's not going to make a difference. Hey, guess what? It's a double-edged sword. You don't come out and vote, it's still going to affect your life. So might as well come out and vote. And, every voice in Nevada, everybody in Nevada has a voice, and use that voice. Don't let a mail-in ballot sit in your counter. And kitchen counter is not going to go anywhere. It's not going to do you any good.
Do you support a federal mandate to legalize marijuana?
You know what? Absolutely. Because there's nothing else. There's a lot of people did so much research about marijuana, and it's legal here. It's legal in different states, California. The concern that I have is, of course, there's going to be a lot of tax money, right? Is that going to go to the school? Because they were in Nevada, I didn't see went to school. Right?
That's what they say was supposed to go to.
Yeah, but
they went to the Allegiant.
I didn't see it. So if we are going to do it, then you know what? Let's make sure that it's going to do something for people. Marijuana, they've done a lot of research. It's good for people's health. Depression, I don't know. What do you call that? The one that you can't see? Glaucoma. Yeah. Right? However, where's that money going? Where's Where's the taxes going? Is it going to go somewhere to better children's lives? Maybe improve the hospitals? Or it's just going to go to politicians' pocket that we just don't see about?
Do you support a federal mandate for universal voter ID?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because, you know what? Let me tell you a story. If you go to the DMV and, you don't have any papers, you're illegal, they'll give you that driving authorization, right? You can register to vote. DMV cannot stop you, okay? So what happened now, there's 55 to 65,000 illegal immigrants that registered to vote because the Secretary of State are behind to check on that. DMV said, our job is not to ask people if you have papers or not. Our job is when, to give you that authorization, register to vote. If you registered, that's the Secretary of the State's job. So absolutely, I mandate, voters, 100% voters ID. When I vote, I show them my driver's license. Some people don't, but I still show mine. Yeah. Why? Because my last name is not Smith. Okay? So now, if I have an ID, every country has that now. We're so behind, and we're supposed to be the leading technology as far as the leading, innovator in the whole world as far as politics, technology, and strategies. But right now, we're falling behind. Like other countries, they already have voters ID.
Do you support a federal mandate to legalize gun carriers if they have CCW in one state?
Absolutely,
they have
100%.
It in all 50 states?
100%. The problem is you don't hear anybody that has CCW that actually doing a mass shooting. I haven't heard anyone. Right. I'm a CCW holder myself. Mm-hmm. I'm carrying. Mm-hmm. But I believe that if you have a CCW, Second Amendment is very important because that's the way that we protect, us Americans,
Our country. That's why nobody wants to invade us because we all
everybody's packing, right? The concern that I have is if you're gonna carry a gun, we need to do a thorough background check. CCW does that, fingerprints, and gun safety, which is CCW does that. Everybody must learn at least a basic gun safety because you know what? If you have kids, you don't want your kids getting your gun and shooting everybody, and you don't want any criminals getting in your gun. You need to protect that because that's your protection. So if I will mandate as 50 state, CCW carry, because that's one is I don't hear anybody, doing mass shooting with a CCW. CCW carriers are trained. They know how the way to take care of their guns because, of course, we have to attend that 8 hours classes when we took it. Third is gun safety. Fourth, I don't think any criminals is gonna mess with you because if they know you're carrying, they're not gonna mess with you, and that's the problem. If we're very strict with guns, you don't have a gun, but the criminals they have it. Guess who's gonna win that battle?
As a congressman, how could you protect school children against illegal gun use?
The problem that we have in this country now is, of course, it goes back to mental health. We need to make sure that our children are actually, that everybody got bullied when we were kids, but it's different now. We have the social media, we have the internet, so it's different. Before we got hit in the head, and that's the end of it. We come home.
You go knock on the door and like step outside.
Yeah, but now it's different, right? Because and the kids are different now. Imagine, I don't know, I have kids of my own. If you take my daughter's tablet, it's like taking crack from a crackhead, right? They go crazy, right? We're talking about 5 years old. So now what we need to do is we need to focus on mental health for the children. We need to talk about it in school. We need to make sure that the people, what's the safety, about gun safety, about these things, about that things, because that's the only thing that we can educate the children. Of course, I remember when I was in elementary school, we talk about, guns, sex, and things like that, because, they want to make sure that you're aware that things are going on. But right now, I think it becomes like a mortal sin or a cardinal sin to talk about it. Right now, they ask us, like, how are you feeling? Do you feel like, this and that? And what are you going to say? Any school, by the way, it's not only in public school. I've seen some of my friends, their kids go to private school. I've seen like text messages to everybody, like, showing their father's gun. And good, and also, like, one of the things that I learned getting my master at UNLV for crisis and emergency management, if you see something, say something.
Do you have that?
Yes.
Congratulations. I knew you was working on that.
So, it's very exciting, though, because, I've learned a lot of different perspectives because, you know me with my background, finance and things like that. But this one's actually helped a lot because it gives you a different perspective. And I think every single candidate politician needs to take that class because eventually, if you're a politician, you're going to take those hard decisions for the safety of your constituents.
So I got a question as far as just more or less bringing it to light from a congressman's standpoint, because it would actually take a constitutional amendment, which we all know would be a brutal process. But I think here's something that a lot of people don't understand when it comes to apportionment, which is basically when the census comes in every 10 years, they count everybody, whether you're legal or illegal, and that's constitutional. But the problem is then that's how they decide how many congressional seats that a state will have. So why should illegals count for how many electoral votes that a state has? That's one of the reasons why I think that a lot of these Congress people want open borders, because it's just more people into their state, so they get more representation.
Yeah, the problem about the census, I remember that they would come to your house and ask you all these questions and things like that. Yeah. But I've heard also that the illegals don't want to open the door because they're afraid.
Right.
That, they're going to be. And I think the way that it should be is, and I don't know, this is going to be a constitutional, like amendment and things like that. Yeah. Maybe we need to count how many registered voters out there. And that decides the electoral vote. Mm-hmm. Right? Because a problem, and I understand that we need the population as far as budgets and things like that. But you know what, ladies and gentlemen, the federal has already budget assigned to every single state. Mm-hmm. Every single state just need to implement that. School, for instance, every public school in this country has 40% budget for education. But a good old Nevada only uses 19%. So where's the 21% going? Who knows? Maybe in, I don't know, Bermuda Triangle. So, but people are complaining, you know what? We need school choice. We need this, we need that. But how can we do that when we are not getting enough money already towards education? Other states are doing well. And they're getting the same amount of money. But why is it they're doing better than us? Why they're getting better quality teacher than us? And a lot of people I talk, at first I was looking at the school choice when I was a Republican, studying it. And then I started talking to some teachers, principals, and things like that. Sure, absolutely. They want school choice. If you live in North Las Vegas and the best school's in Summerlin, you're going to transport the kid to go to Summerlin because it's a better school, because it's a competition now, right? Wow. But folks, let me tell you something. The kids in Summerlin is different from the kids in North Las Vegas. Now we're going to have bullying, culture, and things like that. So how are we going to, we don't have enough logistics to do that. Why don't we just hire some better teachers, better principals that can make the school better? And guess what? Maybe we should give them a bonus if their school scored in proficiency tests. That's going to motivate them. The problem is we have all this money in the world. The weed money, like what you said earlier, right? Why is it that's not going towards education? The 2%, what do you call it? The tax mandate that we all voted in 2014. Commerce tax.
Commerce tax, yeah.
I don't see any of that stuff. You guys, do you see it? I don't see it.
No.
You guys are all business people here. So why are we making up things that it's not benefiting, the citizen of this state and the citizen in this country, period? We need to stop corruption. We need to start having term limits in Congress. Because I think if a congressperson, been there for a very long time, it becomes kind of like a dictatorship because you haven't been replaced them. We need new ideas. The country's changing. The generation are changing.
So you'd vote for that?
Absolutely. I don't want to be there. I want to have a term limit in Congress. I believe that 5 terms is enough. Because that's like 10 years? Yeah. Because you need new ideas out there. And maybe that congressman or congresswoman that actually been there for 5 years, maybe it's time for that person to step up and run for Senate. And that also needs to have a term limit.
Yeah. How long do you think
2
that
terms.
should be?
12 years is enough.
12 years is enough.
Do you believe in universal health care?
Oh my God, that's a good question, Steve. Universal healthcare, you know what happened in different countries on that. I believe on, wow, that's a good question. I would probably say I believe that we should have all affordable healthcare in America, in the United States. My concern is the cost. What happening, why the insurance is so high for every American. It doesn't matter if you have Medicare, Medicaid, Obamacare, TRICARE, all this care. The prescription drugs going up. When you go to a doctor, they charge you. I remember, and this is my 3rd kid, right? First kid I go in, ultrasound, it's $300, copay. Now guess how much is the copay? $1,000. So the insurance, of course, is going up because the doctors, and I don't have anything bad to say about doctors, the medical providers and things like that. But the problem that we have is we need to bring back the art of healing rather than art of profits. The thing is, people want to, everybody wants to make money. I remember, I was talking to one of the person that that got mad at me because I told him that I don't believe in a a late-term abortion. You know why they have a late-term abortion in this country? Because they can charge insurance a lot more. Yeah. Because they help the mother.
Doctors actually make a hell of a lot more money off of it than if they actually go through with the pregnancy.
So,
And how long is a late-term abortion? 8
Jesus months.
Christ.
The baby's already full, man.
Yeah. Anytime you go past the 2nd semester.
I believe in pro-choice, but there has to be. I mean, if you don't know you're pregnant by the time you hit 4 months, something wrong with you.
Yeah. Well, the thing is and I know that we talk about that, they're going to hit me with that even though I have no power to change the abortion law.
That's what I was going to ask you is how many times you still get asked about that? Because that drives me nuts. I'm still hearing 80% of the time. I'm still hearing commercials about it. I'm like, and I would tell them,
your governor and your state legislature cannot really do anything about that. It's the people. What they need to do in order for them to abolish, to change abortion law here in Nevada, guess what? It has to go to a ballot. And then after, it needs to go to another ballot. Okay, so it's the people's decision. Second of all, I'm pro-life, right? I love to I want to have more kids than ever. But
because you could afford it.
Yeah, but a woman does not wake up, but I have 2 daughters as well. But the woman does not get up in the morning and say, I want to be pregnant today. Right?
You never know.
Yeah. The thing is like, But what about we need to make the man, responsible as well, just like the way we make them responsible to pay child support if they get someone pregnant.
Should the male have a choice to say you should get an abortion or not?
Well, that takes it takes two decisions. But let me tell you something.
The woman's going to say it's her body.
Yeah, let me tell you something though. Would you rather have kids? Not everybody's fit to be a parent, Steve. You know that, and you heard the news. Like. Some of those people, I don't even know why they're having kids, putting the kids in a dog cage.
Hey, I was at family court today. Believe me, I know.
And it's just like I believe, that abortions for, rape, incest, and health of the mother, and also cannot, you can have an abortion probably like the first trimester. Because not everybody is can fit to be a parent, and especially a woman, we just need to stay away from their body because that's their own. This is their own decision. The only thing that I have a very concern is don't use abortion as a birth control. Right. Don't use abortion to make money because later abortion the baby's already developed. In America we have a choice. I want my daughters to have their choices. But of course, let's think about it a little bit more, wisely and what choice are we making.
There's common sense to it.
So if you were to become the next congressman for Congressional District 1, what committees would you like to sit on?
I would love to be in I want to be in foreign committee. I want to be in finance committee.
Why the foreign?
Because of things I've experienced.
What does that mean?
That means that, I know what's going on in a different country.
How many languages could you speak?
I can speak 3 different languages.
You know what? I want you, at the end of the show, I want you to tell people to vote for you in all 3.
Absolutely. I would do that.
Okay.
And the beauty about it, my constituents is actually build up with those people that living there. That speak Spanish, that speak Tagalog, and, just like me, who looks like me. Mm-hmm. So, I want people to in Congressional District 1 that actually your voice matter. Come on and vote. Be part of history. First Filipino American naturalized citizen because I wasn't born here, folks. The true person is actually living the American dream.
That's right.
And I love this country. My kids were born here. This is the only country they know.
So foreign relations and what was the other one?
Finance.
Finance committee.
Yeah. I want to see.
You have a background in finance,
of course.
Okay.
I want to make sure what are we doing on that, and of course, I want to revisit the tax codes in the IRS.
Do you support the 87,000 brand new agents? How much is that? 87,000.
Yeah, it's up to 87,000 now. It was like 47,000.
Well, they couldn't get qualified agents fast enough.
Let me ask you something. If Puerto Rico was on the floor to be a state, how would you vote on that?
You know what? That's coming up now. I think they voted on that already. What they did is they gave it to Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico's going to have an election. Mm-hmm. 3 things that they can do in that election in Puerto Rico. One is to be sovereignty. Mm-hmm. The problem about that, of course, Cuba's going to knock on their wood. If they become sovereignty, they're not going to do that. Second, they can be just a colony the way it is right now. Third is, of course, to be a 51st state. But, of course, now there's going to be a lot of changes, a lot of amendments in the Constitution and things like that. You know what? But if we're going to do that, then maybe we need to make the other territory to be a state as well. Guam, we have it since World War II. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And there's still territory. We cannot use colony anymore because we're not the Brits.
we have these territories that we have a congressional representation in committees, but they're not on the floor. Like we have Guam.
Correct. Yeah.
We have the American Samoa. Mm-hmm. We have Puerto Rico. We have the U.S. Virgin Islands. Mm-hmm. And did I miss one?
And well, it's not a territory, but Washington D.C. actually has a congressional representative.
They just sing committee, but they don't vote on the floor. Yeah. Would you vote for any of those to be a state?
Absolutely. Okay. Because you know what, they've been in this country for those territory, we had it for so long. They already gave us contribution in this country. Mm-hmm. We made Hawaii 50th state. It's time for us to start making this other territory to be a state. If United States does not want it to be a state, then we should give their what do you call it, their freedom.
Yeah.
Make them their own sovereignty.
Because what would happen is they would have to write up a state constitution, and then the state constitution has to be approved by you guys.
Absolutely, and I would approve that. And also, what I would do is, like, of course, we want to make it as a state because the funding has to go there as well. Right. And I believe that I think we already passed the law that the Congressional already passed the law that if you were born in those territory, you're automatically an American citizen. Yeah. Which is, I think that's came up I would probably say like 15, 16 years ago.
Jim, do you have anything else from Mr. Quince?
No, actually, I don't have any more questions. I'm just nice to see you again. You're looking good, Ron.
Yeah,
looking slim and fit and all energetic.
I've been campaigning and I enjoy it, and I believe that's going to be a different turnout this time. I'm very confident, and you guys know me. I did a lot of sacrifice to run for office. I don't need to do this, but I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for all the American dreamers out there, that this thing can happen in America. It's not, it's a land of opportunity that you can pursue happiness. It's not guaranteed, but you're here. You have this opportunity because you know what? If I'm living in the Philippines, maybe I'm like a blacksmith or something like that, or a farmer. But here in America, give me an opportunity to be what I am. And right now, guess what? I'm running for Congress, and hopefully your future congressman in District 1.
Mr. Quince, I have one more final question for you. And it's a family court reform.
Okay.
And the reason why I'm bringing that up, because it's near and dear to me.
Okay.
And something just jarred my memory because I was in family court today.
This morning, okay.
And the Nevada Supreme Court passed this law, a resolution saying that the family court is of public concern and of public access. That means you cannot lock the door. All cases are open to the public, but yet these judges are still doing it. I went to one family courtroom today, Robert Tootin. The deputy marshal wouldn't let me in, saying that it was a dependency case and it was closed, and that's BS. I went to another one, Judge Margaret Pickard, and the doors were completely locked. Couldn't get in, but court was in session. So denied public access. These are people that are elected officials, and these courtrooms are paid by tax dollars. What would you do as a sitting congressman? What would you do to hold these judges to the high standards that they're supposed to be held to?
Well, first of all, when I became a congressman, I need to work with the state legislature to change the law and make sure that the laws being implemented. The problem is, like, we need education. We need to educate the voters that if these judges are not doing their job, then we need to replace them. I know there's a lot of argument between being appointed and being elected. We all know that. There's pros and cons. But right now, we're using what we have right now. So one of the things that I believe in is, like, if I became your congressman, I guarantee you that I will be there. I will be the first person out there, even though it's a state legislature law, that I will go there and lobby for it to make sure that all these things that your concern are can happen. Because you know what? I've been to family court as well. So I know what you're saying, right? But and I sometimes it's very hard because if you're in family court and the judge make a decision and it's a bad decision, it can affect the children, and we've seen that thing
for generations.
Happen. Correct. Not only the generation, we've seen deaths as well, right? Maybe if it's a little bit a complicated case, maybe we need to get the jury involved.
The who?
The jury.
Okay. Yeah.
Because the thing is, it's the taxpayers are paying for it.
There's no jury box in family court.
And maybe that's one of the things that maybe we can take a look at. And the only thing that we can do that is, of course, a person that can lobby for it. And as your congressman, I would lobby what is best for you. Doesn't matter if I have to change the stoplight. I will be there, because at the end of the day, people are saying, "Oh, you're a congressman. You vote for a federal law." Not really. I'm voting to represent the constituents in my district, which is technically I'm representing not only my district, the whole state, and the whole country. Not just my district. Because at the end of the day, we have to pass law. And just so that you know, Nancy Pelosi and I are only going to have one vote. She's not going to get 10 votes because she's been there for 30 years. It's 1 vote. Okay.
All right, Mr. Quince, I would like to thank you for coming on. But before we let you go, I want you to bring up anything that we have not discussed that you want to put on the floor. And I want you to tell people to go and vote for you and your point of contact. And I want you to do it in Tagalog. I want you to do it in Tagalog. I want you to do it in Spanish. And I want you to do it in English.
By the way, first of all, I thank you for the opportunity for being here today. I appreciate that. For those of you out there, if you don't know who I am, my name is Juan Quince. You can follow me in my website, which is quincefornevada.com. You can donate, you can volunteer, and I'm encouraging everyone to come out and vote. There's 3 ways for you to vote now. One is, of course, mail-in ballots. The ballots are going to come out on October 13th. Don't let it sit in the counter. Fill it out and then drop it off in the mailbox. Don't believe what everybody's saying that it doesn't count. Yes, it does count because you know what? There's a tracker for that. Second, October 19th to November 2nd, it's the early voting. You can vote anywhere, Albertson, every voting post that's open. And then third, not the least, on November 5th, you need to vote in your voting poll, and you can find that out either in my website or in the Clark County website, and of course, the Nevada website. Okay? Sa mga kababayan ko, lumabas po kayo na bumoto kayo na nalalabas sa eleksyon ng October. Dadating ang balota sa bahay ninyo. Pirmahan nyo, pilapan nyo, tapos i-drop nyo. Tapos, pwede rin kayong bumoto ng maaga sa October 19 hanggang November 2nd. Pwede kayong bumoto kahit saan na mayroong botohan. Of course, ang huli sa November 5, pwede kayong bumoto sa polling place ninyo, and pwede ang sarado yata mga hanggang alas 7 ng gabi. Okay? Por todos gentes aquí en Estados Unidos, viviendo en mi distrito, yo quiero decir, ustedes tienen que votar porque ustedes tienen voz. Okay? Para votar primero con correo es los balotas va a venir hasta octubre 13. Tiene chance para votar y puede mandar un correo al revés. Y tú puedes votar muy temprano, empieza octubre 19 hasta noviembre 2. Y puedes votar con todos los lugares y tiene elección polls para votar. Y noviembre 5 es el último día para votar. Puede votar allá dentro de su distrito hasta a las 7 de la noche. ¿Tienen preguntas, questions y algo? Visita mi website, Ron Quince o Ron Quince, quincefornevada.com.
Well, Mr. Quince, thank you so much for being on the program.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm glad to be here.
Jim?
And make sure, let's turn on the AC next time.
We didn't turn the AC on, Mark.
It's on.
Oh, it's on, baby. It's on. Folks, I want to say something. I've known Mr. Quince for over a decade now, and he has the Joint Veterans Endorsement support, and he has my personal support. He has Jim's personal support. This man will make a difference in Congress. Stop going with the same old and vote for somebody that's well-rounded. He speaks 3 different languages. He knows how to get things done. He's very motivated. He's got a financial background. Vote for Ron Quince. Put him in office. This is Steve Sanson, Jim Jones for Veterans in Politics. Until next time.